Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Average Uninformed. So nice of you guys to visit. Black Panther was a bit of a hit at the Oscars, so we decided to check out old T'Challa again this week and give you guys a proper review. So here we go and enjoy.
What are we talking about tonight? Black Panther. Ever since my cold, I can't do a falsetto voice anymore.
Of what?
A falsetto? It's when you talk real high.
That's not a thing.
Not like, yo, dude, I'm so high. You know,
I don't.
like a soprano.
I don't know what that.
Not like a soprano, like, gabagool. You know, like.
I still haven't watched that show yet.
I've never watched it.
Sopranos?
No.
Oh.
My family was really into it, but when it started, I was like 13 or something like that. And my dad was like, you can't watch this show. And so anytime I came in while they were watching it, he would just pause it.
Bang some chick.
and like that continued all the way through. It's like 7 seasons or whatever. And it's like, Dad, I'm like 21.
He's like, no.
He's just like, eh. So I never got into it because it was just like, I don't know who any of these people are.
I watched like the first season and then it kind of dropped off because I stopped caring. Because it's convenient because the TV's like down the hall, so I can hear when the theme song comes on. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can make some time.
What was the theme? That's Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, I know.
Woke up this morning, put a boom boom in your hide. Is that it? Or is that The Wire?
I have no idea. Honestly, I can't remember.
Got yourself a gun.
Oh, no.
Got yourself. Yeah, I think that is The Sopranos.
Can I do your timer?
I am going to set the timer. I got this funny thing for you. Woke up this morning, put a boom boom in your hide.
In your what?
In your hide. Like your skin.
That's strange.
Isn't it weird that I know the theme song for that, but I have never seen an episode?
It is strange.
Yeah. Put a boom boom in your hide.
Oh, did you see the trailer for Rocketman?
Oh, the Elton John movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually.
What do you think?
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that it's like, it's not just like a typical musician biopic because those are kind of tired. Like it's always the same story where they rise to fame and then they get into drugs and then there's a falling out and then they're okay at the end.
Yeah.
Or they die. One or the other. But I like that this one it looks like there's these grand musical, like it looks more like a musical than a movie with music in it.
I'm pretty excited for that reason too.
Yeah. Do you like Elton John?
I like some of the songs. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some I know very well. And then there's this whole library of his songs. I have no idea.
I'm probably going to download some and listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I like who plays it though. Eggy from Kingsman. I can't remember.
Taron Egerton.
How do you say his name?
Edgerton.
That's too much for me.
Way too many syllables.
But no, it's funny because like he was in Kingsman 2. Kingsman 2? Or is it 3 now?
He was in both. Or are you talking about Elton John?
Elton John, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the second one.
Yeah. You could play it off as like a spy thing.
Yeah.
Eggsy going undercover as Elton John.
Yeah, maybe. Speaking of trailers, did you see the Detective Pikachu trailer, Victor?
I did. I am super pumped about it. What do you think?
I was already sold on the first one. Like this, it just looks even better. Like, although it did make me feel really old because a lot of the Pokemon that they showed, I was like, who is that? I don't know who that one is. Yeah. Oh, there's that one.
Well, it doesn't help too that they've been given like a very realistic look to them too. Like Mr. Mime is very recognizable because of his shape. Charizard, obviously, but then there's a bunch of like those ninja Pokemon. Like, I know what they look like in the games and the cartoon, but
yeah,
it's very jarring seeing them in that movie.
Yeah, I think I said this last time with the first trailer, but I wish they had gotten more into the realistic thing because they just look like cartoons with textures to me.
I think that would work for some things, but then if you get to like characters like Mr. Mime, for example, you imagine like a really realistic Mr. Mime.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of strange. Kind of creepy.
Because there's one of them that's just like a big old, it basically just looks like a golem. Like he's just big in stone and he has these huge shoulders and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know what it is because it's a generation of Pokemon that was after my
first
fandom.
gen.
seeing him on screen, I was just like, he looks like a Digimon or something. Like he doesn't look like he belongs in Pokemon. Like he looks like I don't know, some other.
So what are you
monster.
excited about this? Excited about for this movie?
Honestly, just Ryan Reynolds and like them kind of taking a jab at Pokemon, because it looks like they're not taking it very seriously. Anyway, I will be going to see this despite my waning fandom of Pokemon.
I mean, it's obviously done a great job. Like, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Pokemon, but like, well, I don't know if it's fair. They cast Ryan Reynolds. Like, I think I was telling you, like every clip and trailer they show, it's less Pikachu and more Ryan Reynolds coming through, which is, I don't know, I like it.
Victor, The Haunting of Hill House is returning for a second season.
Did you watch that show?
I did not, but I know you did. So I thought this news would excite you.
Haven't actually gotten through it all, but yeah.
So it only like half tickles your fancy.
I guessed the ending of it, and apparently I was right. So my friend got really ticked, and now we don't watch it anymore.
Oh, what did you guess?
Well, I don't want to ruin it.
It's been out for over a year.
Has it?
I think so. Okay, at least 20 weeks.
It's not really the ending, but like it was one of the. It's the big twist apparently. Ah, crap! I can't remember her name, but one of the main characters, when she was a little girl, she was haunted by
a ghost.
It was a female ghost with like a twisted neck.
That was her mom.
She goes back to that house at some point in the movie or in the show, and I was like, oh shit, she's gonna die.
Oh, and then she goes back in time and
I was like,
haunts herself.
Well, the way she dies, that like her neck's broken. I was like, oh, she's the twisted neck lady. And apparently, I haven't seen the conclusion of it, but apparently I'm right.
Well, that makes sense, except for the whole time travel.
Yeah, I was like, well, then how the fuck how does that work?
I guess ghosts can travel all through time.
Well, that's not how.
That's good to know. But anyway, it's returning, but it's returning as an anthology. So the second season will have nothing to do with the first season. They're basing off of Turn of the Screw. Have you ever read that?
No. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does sound familiar, but I've never heard of it.
Wait,
but maybe I'm thinking of the Shakespeare play Taming of the Shrew.
That's probably not it, but when's it coming out?
No idea. I should have wrote that down for you. Taco Bell has created their first slide-through takeout window. So it's at the Horseshoe Resort in Ontario. So basically at the top of the hill, you place your order and then you slide down on skis or a tube or something like that.
Yeah.
And you slide through and pick up your tacos.
Oh, good. Diarrhea on the hill.
It's funny because slide through is also what I would call their tacos. That was the only reason I brought that up, so I could make a diarrhea joke. Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, it's coming out May 22nd, 2020.
But aren't they doing...
They're doing Godzilla King of the Monsters first.
All right, it's a freaking CGI movie anyway. They can just pump that out.
Well, yeah. And then...
like 4 days of shooting with actual people.
Yeah, right. And then, Victor, were you a fan of Space Jam when you were a kid?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I really liked Space Jam.
More so the song than the movie now, currently.
You know, like, Slam, you know you want to take. Everybody come on, it's time to slam now.
Wait, are they doing a sequel?
Real thing going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. It's your chance. It's your place to the Space Jam. All right.
I'm upset that
Wave your hands in the air if you feel right. We're gonna take it into overtime. So welcome to the Space Jam. Yeah, Space Jam 2 is coming out July 16th, 2021. Michael Jordan is not coming back.
That makes sense.
It's going to be LeBron James.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No word on if Bugs Bunny is coming back, though. Just kidding. He probably will be in it.
You think he's going to be all right? Be casted again? He's going to be so old looking.
Yeah, right? Actually, now that you have just said that, because they do have a new Looney Tunes show and they have slightly changed the designs of the characters. I wonder if it'll be the new designs or the ones that everyone's familiar with.
Do you think it's going to be 3D or do you think it's going to be...
Oh, of course it'll be 3D.
It'd be kind of cool if it was like drawn 2D.
Yeah.
So they stood out like crazy hardcore.
No, they will do it with CGI. It's so much faster.
Is it though?
Yes, it is.
Fine.
Yeah, they just have to create a model and move it around instead of redrawing. Anyway, I like Space Jam. I watched it a few times as a kid. I had some Space Jam toys when I was a kid. I had Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny.
It's a good pair.
They came with some of the Monstars.
Mm-hmm.
I had the
Good
big
name.
green guy. I don't remember his name, but it was like Slipknot or something like that. Or
Did you ever try the back when Space Jam came out? Did you ever try the little like sugar drink mix that they had? Even at one point in the movie, they get this like drink. It's like it's a sugar.
Michael's secret stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
And it is what it is. It's just sugar. It's Kool-Aid. It was so good.
No, I never had that.
I think I made like 3 packs one night.
Always like the powder, like like actual Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm. And I think I drank it. I think I drank like more than half of it.
Did you believe you could fly after that?
It's pretty hyped up. I threw up.
You threw up?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Threw a layup? That's a basketball thing, right? Layups are basketball.
Sure.
Free throw? Free throw up.
Yeah, from the center line, half court, into the ball. Anyways, moving on. Demonstrating our knowledge on basketball right there.
Yeah. So we like sports.
Mm-hmm. Sports ball. Sportsnet. Sports basket.
I always liked it when Michael Jordan got a touchdown. He'd get so many holes in ones in his basketball match.
Huh.
Barry season 2 comes out March 31st.
What?
Oh, right. You don't watch Barry. This is just for me, really. Barry's Bill Hader's show.
Yeah, I know.
So he plays a hitman who discovers acting. And so he goes to like acting class, but he's also like a contract killer going around murdering people. And so it's really funny at times. And it's really dark at other times.
Oh, okay.
It is a wonderful show. I love it so much.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, definitely recommend Barry season 1 if you haven't seen it.
Wait, how do you spell it? Is it B-A-R-R-Y?
Barry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, very funny. Bill Hader won a Golden Globe? No, an Emmy. I don't know. He won Best Actor for his show, and good for him. It is a really, really funny show. Very darkly funny at times. Victor, everyone's back for A Quiet Place 2.
What? Why?
So John Krasinski's coming back to write and direct Quiet Place 2.
Oh, okay. I was like, he's dead though.
Yeah, he's just a walking corpse in the second one. Actually, no, he's not even walking. He's just a corpse in the second one.
Dragging him. He's all propped up on like a scarecrow stand. Because it's a farm.
Yeah. And then it's just like Emily Blunt is just like whispering to her kids, like their new baby. It's like, see that? That was your daddy.
He was loud.
That's a reminder. You shut your mouth. So Emily Blunt is back as well as mom.
Oh, that's kind of sweating.
I don't know what their names were. Did they have names?
No.
Or was it just mom, dad?
No, they didn't even call mom and dad.
Well, yeah, they didn't. Because no one said anything in that movie.
I was hoping they would just gone gone the other route and just have a different family,
or like an anthology, and just do a new story.
Yeah, and then you get like bits of information, little Easter eggs from that family from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
But so
anyway, they're all coming back.
That's neat. I'm down for that.
I hope they get really into it though, of like all the rules.
You think they're going to call it A Quiet Place 2, or you think it's going to call it A Quieter Place? Quietest
really
place.
Quiet place. Or they should just call it shh.
Shut the fuck
up. There's so many times where John Krasinski would put his finger over his mouth, but he always did it in a way that he would push his nose out of the way.
I noticed that.
It's always like he puts his knuckle to his mouth, not his finger. And so his finger's always like poking himself in the eye when he does it. I'm sorry. As you can maybe hear, my hand is in front of my mouth while I'm talking.
It's one of those weird like things that you notice, kind of like Walking Dead.
John Bernthal.
What's his character's name
in Walking Dead?
Yeah,
Shane.
You're Shane.
No, it was Captain High Pants.
Yeah, that's why every time I think of Walking Dead, because we always made jokes about Shane's high pants. Like they go up past his belly button.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Can't protect him, Rick. And then as he's doing that, he's pulling his belt up to his Adam's apple.
He's choking himself with a belt.
Can't protect him, Rick.
or like Battlestar, it's someone getting ejected out of the airlock. That happens only, I think, like 3 times in that show.
Yeah. What do we call that one guy? Crotch Pound?
Yeah. Yeah, his code name was Crashdown.
Yeah.
I think we just misheard it the first time. Just call himself Crotchdown? Or Crotch Pound?
Crotch Pound. His best friend was Hot Dog. It made sense.
Oh, I forgot about that. A terrible call out.
Call sign, yeah. It's better than like Wiener Face. Wiener Face, they're on your 6. Guys, stop calling me that. No, seriously, they're on your 6.
Do you think they chose those names? Do you think like pilots choose their call signs?
Or they're just like, you're christened that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's like, you're a real maverick.
Oh.
That's what we're going to call you. And you look like a goose.
What about me? Who's that hot dog back there?
That guy, he's cool as ice. So we're going to call him Snowface. That wasn't a good joke. I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone. Sorry, everybody.
You need to cool it on those jokes.
Hey, be ice. Dang it.
I'm shaking my head.
Could have worked.
I know I don't have a standard for that kind of thing, but this show does. This podcast does.
You want to hear something very truly Canadian?
Sure.
Okay. Did you hear about this?
Well, I don't know. Did I?
You hear about this? So back a few weeks ago was Family Day. That's a national holiday for Canada. It's a day off on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So all the stores are closed. And in Kingston, apparently a No Frills grocery store was left unlocked by accident. And so people went in like hoping it was open. They're like, oh, the doors are open. Mm-hmm. And so they just were shopping. And then they soon realized that there was no staff there. So people just left money on the counter and just took their groceries. It got to the point where like people were like, it says it's closed, but there's people in there with shopping carts and like, so people called the police and stuff, and the police called the manager, and the manager comes in, it's like, nothing is stolen. Like, and there's money like here. So that is
that's a good story to hear.
Truly Canadian story. Mm-hmm. that we're just like
Kingston too. It's not like a.
Isn't that where the prison is?
I have no idea.
Isn't Kingston? Isn't that like the huge penitentiary?
I have no idea. That's the one. That's Kingston is east, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're right. I just don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, this happened in Kingston, wherever that may be, somewhere in Ontario. People paid for their groceries. That rhymed. I wish I could do that all the time. Anyway, did you hear about Steve Irwin and PETA?
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that. I don't actually know the source of it all.
Oh, okay. Victor and I have a long history of not liking PETA. And I think it was this past week. I think it was last Friday. Steve Irwin, the famous crocodile trainer. Was he called a crocodile hunter?
It is Hunter.
It is Hunter. Okay. So anyway, he died about 10 years ago, probably more, from a manta ray barb going into his heart.
And that was very it's terrible.
Yeah.
Should have been a crocodile.
That's awful.
Well, you know what? That's literally what he handled for like majority of his career.
He was known for crocodiles, but he dealt with a lot of some would say untamable animals. Like he dealt with a lot of vicious, dangerous animals. There was
one episode I saw he like grabbed on to some kind of constrictor snake, and like it wrapped around his arm and started biting him. He's like, "Oh, guys, I need help." He stopped whatever he was reading, and he's just like, "Yep, I gotta fix this." Just casually, nonchalant, walked off screen, got that removed.
Anyway, he would have turned 57 on last Friday. And so Google, to honor him, did their Google Doodle that represented him.
Wicked Doodle, by the way.
PETA had a field day with that.
Of course they would.
And they were like, you should not be honoring him because he hunted animals and he hurt them and he died because he was harassing a manta ray and he dangled his baby in front of a crocodile. He deserved it, and la 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 la. And so just went to town on him, and Twitter snapped back.
Of course it did.
Yeah, a lot of people were just like, that is not true. He did so much for wildlife. He was called a crocodile hunter, but he was really just showing why these animals are dangerous but yet beautiful, and they should be treated with respect. He saved so many animals through his sanctuaries and stuff like that. And anyway, screw you, PETA.
Does everyone working at PETA just have a head up their ass? Their head up their ass?
I don't
Someone
know
else's head
what
up their
their
ass?
deal is, but like, because their social media sucks.
Can you imagine being the PR manager for PETA? Just like constantly putting out fires,
Well,
forest fires.
yeah, that your social media person has started. Because it's like, there was another thing too, where there was like a fashion designer who died, and after an hour after they died, they're like, good, now there'll be less like fur and animal skins out in the market. And it's just like, show some freaking tact. Like, yeah, they're ridiculous. Like, honestly, I'm for a lot of what PETA stands for as far as like taking care of animals and stuff like that. But like, you're just vilifying everybody and antagonizing people. So screw you, PETA.
What you got?
I got some Aquaman news. Aquaman 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crossed $1.1 billion now.
Oh, shit.
And so they're doing an Aquaman 2. They did a release date for it. So it's December 16, 2022.
It seems a little far away.
Yeah, it's like 3 years, but I mean,
They've got enough on their plate.
yeah. Speaking of, do you want to know what they have on their plate?
No.
Let me just read you what movies they have coming out.
Am I going to be upset after this?
Maybe. We'll see. Okay, they got Shazam coming out in less than a month. Joker, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84, Green Lantern Corps is has a release date for 2020. Not going to happen. The Batman, Suicide Squad 2, Aquaman 2, The Flash. And then these ones have no release date. Batgirl, Supergirl, Gotham City Sirens, Birds of Prey versus Gotham City Sirens, Nightwing, New Gods, Black Adam, Blue Beetle, Plastic Man, Zatanna, Booster Gold / Blue Beetle Team Up, Harley Quinn / Joker film, Jared Leto Joker film, Deadshot, Blackhawk, Deathstroke, Lobo, Cyborg, Justice League Dark, Justice League sequel, Man of Steel sequel. They have so many movies that they have announced in some form or another.
Those are officially announced?
I don't know if they're announced or if it was just like people in Warner Brothers being like, yo, we're working on a Birds of Prey movie.
Or are they just freaking like reading off the DC character list?
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, they've got a few movies coming out, but The Flash is never going to happen. It's going to be the next Gambit. It'll just be for 10 years. They'll be like, yeah, we're definitely making it. And then they'll get a director, and the director will be like, drop out like 6 months later. And then yeah, it's not going to happen. But anyway, that's DC. That's what they're doing.
I think you've listed off more more movies for characters than Marvel has movies right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's 10 years worth of movies.
Yeah. Victor, the Oscars happened this week.
I've heard.
Yeah. Did you follow any of it?
Nope.
No. Do you know who won Best Picture?
I did not.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what it was?
I can't even
It wasn't Black Panther. Don't worry.
Predator.
No. No. It was Green Book.
Wait, isn't that the one with the driver?
Yes, it is.
Oh, is that
Good memory. Good memory. People are ticked off about it.
why?
There's all sorts of controversy around it. Like it's just like one of those movies where I personally really liked the movie, but I could see where people would be mad about it because it's another one of those movies where it's black guy deals with adversity, but he makes it through because of white guy.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, so I really liked it.
What was the movie that they would have wanted to win if people were ticked about that one?
I don't know. I think because that was the thing with this year was there was no real front runner. Like there was no clear one that was like, it's probably going to be this, to my knowledge anyway. So I think people wanted Roma to win, which is a film from Mexico that it actually won the best foreign language Oscar as well. But I think they wanted that to win. I can't even remember what else was nominated. I kind of wanted Black Panther to win just so people would freak out. But that didn't happen, alas. But yeah. Do
Interesting.
you want to go through? Because a few weeks ago, you gave us your top picks for who would win all the Oscars. Let's see how right you were.
Oh, no. I don't remember what I chose.
Okay, we're going to start with supporting actor. Best
Okay.
supporting actor. You said Adam Driver would win.
Was he in anything?
Yeah, he was in Black Klansman.
Oh, right.
He didn't just pull that name out of a hat.
I couldn't remember if it was just me pulling names out of a hat.
Yeah, no.
Did you give me options?
I gave you the nominations and
Nice.
you chose. And I said Mahershala Ali. I was right. Mahershala Ali won for
That makes
Best
sense.
Supporting Actor. Supporting Actress, you said Emma Stone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I actually said this on air, but my choice was Regina King. And I was right.
Sure.
Okay. You don't have to count that one if you don't want to, but I wrote that one down before she won and I was right. You know, whatever. No big deal. Best Actor, you said Rami Malek,
I have no idea what that is.
the Bohemian Rhapsody guy.
Oh, nice.
He won.
Yeah, I knew
Way
it.
to go. I also said Rami Malek. And
yeah, that doesn't
then
count. I said it first, so I win.
and then Best Actress, you said Lady Gaga.
Mhm.
I said Glenn Close. Olivia Colman won.
That doesn't sound like a real person.
She had a great speech, actually, because she was like, it was a surprise win, and she just was like flustered and didn't really know what to say. It's really funny. You should watch it. If you're listening at home and you haven't watched it, you should watch it. Look it up. Olivia Colman Oscar speech. But also some other things won. Bao won for animated short film, which is it's exciting
sounds
because
familiar.
it was directed by Domi Shi, who went to Sheridan,
Oh, yeah.
which is the school that Victor and I
Mhm.
went to. And so she works for Pixar now, but she grew up in Toronto. And yeah, so that was kind of cool. And best animated film, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won.
Yep, that makes sense.
See,
Not
but that
surprised.
is the thing, because that's like a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
because usually that's kind of like Disney Pixar's
Yeah.
award. And so it was kind of assumed that Incredibles 2 would win.
Sweet.
And
That's kind of cool. Sony's taking one of them,
mhm.
kicking ass.
Yeah. And also Black Panther won some Oscars as well.
Oh, okay.
They won best.
Wait.
What?
If I had to guess,
Yeah.
costumes?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't think of another one. You
Production
said-
design.
Production. Okay.
So that would be like sets and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
And they won best original score. Yeah. So in my opinion,
oh, actually, yeah. I know. Yeah.
all of the Oscars they won were deserved.
Yeah.
Like
That makes sense.
Yeah. I didn't expect them to really win Best Picture, but it would have been funny if they did. So speaking of Black Panther, Victor,
Nice.
we watched Black Panther this
We did,
this week.
just,
We actually chose it because it was going to have some Oscar buzz around it, and also Captain Marvel's coming out next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was revisiting it. When was the last time you watched it, Victor?
When it came out, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it, but it wasn't one of the movies that, again, like I don't rewatch a lot of Marvel movies
Yeah.
unless someone else hasn't watched it. So then that's the only time I'll do it.
Yeah, Marvel movies are my go-to, like put it on in the background.
Mhm.
So I've seen this one a few times since it's come out. But what'd you think? Non-spoiler.
It's great in the beginning, and then for me, it kind of falls apart about midway through the second act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then it's I don't know, it's just your typical Marvel movie with a big boss at the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, Josh, what
I really liked it, Victor.
Yeah.
Spoilers?
Yeah, sure.
So what did you like about Black Panther, Victor?
The visual aesthetics, the costumes,
Mhm.
Shuri and M'Baku, I think. No, not M'Baku.
Oh yeah, M'Baku.
Is it?
Yeah, the Jabari guy.
Yeah. The guy that's on the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my two favorite characters from that movie. For
Oh, really?
sure. Yeah, 100%.
I would agree. I like M'Baku quite a bit. I think Okoye was my favorite character in the entire thing. She's great.
Because her actress is the one that plays Michonne in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Denai Guerrera.
I couldn't recognize her until she put the wig on.
Oh yeah,
but like partway through the first act, because I was looking for her. I was like, where is she? And then she walks in with that wig. I was like, oh, it's Michelle.
Where did Okoye go? I thought she was on this mission.
It's like Clark Kent with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't very proud of that moment.
I really liked her because like even like the first, I think she has one line right at the beginning in the opening when they're on the ship, and she goes and grabs a spear to join T'Challa on his mission, and he's like, "That's not necessary, Okoye," and she's just like, "Okay," and just with that line, you're just like, "Okay, I like her." Like she's obviously like his bodyguard, but she's got some personality to her. So
bit of sass to her.
Yeah, I really liked her. Should we talk about just Wakanda? You know what? Let's do the plot. We haven't done the plot.
Sure.
If there's the off chance you have not seen Black Panther, here's the plot for you. So this takes place 1 week after Captain America Civil War. So T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, died. He was assassinated in Civil War. And so this is about T'Challa rising to the throne as king. And then shortly after that, he is challenged by a man named Killmonger, who says he also has a claim to the throne. And they have different worldviews, and they fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that good? Sound good to you?
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah.
But it's a really good movie.
What did you think of Wakanda?
Wakanda? I really liked it. Like there is a level of detail in the world building that is just, it's ridiculous. Like how well thought out everything is. Like, and it shows on screen. Like you can tell there's like currency. Like you can you know what I mean? Like there's a culture there. Like compare it to Asgard in the first Thor. There's like 12 people living there, right? And like Wakanda feels like an actual place, whereas Asgard feels like a bunch of pillars and some guys wearing robes, and then Thor's over there. And
yeah, with Asgard, like you always kind of saw the city from like point of view from the palace. So like you would see the city, but like you never dive into it. You never see the public kind of just interacting and mingling and just like their way of life. Whereas Wakanda is like the opposite. Like at one point they go into like the marketplace, and they're just walking through. So you get an opportunity to see people interacting. You get to see people exchanging goods. You get to see how people live in there.
Yeah, what they eat, what old people are like, what young people are like.
And I like that you see like the marketplace. You see a bit of like the higher tech portion of the city where like, like it looks like a big city. It looks like New York City in like 2050. I don't know.
Yeah, like
it's fancy. Very high tech.
Yeah, but then of course there is that like African influence on it as well, and like they have like huts and stuff like that, but it's like high tech huts.
Because the whole city of Wakanda is shrouded in this invisible force field.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
but it projects like it makes the whole city look like a forest.
Yeah, and so it's the secret nation. I guess we should mention, if you're not into Marvel, Wakanda started as a meteorite hit the earth made of vibranium, which is this unbreakable metal, and Wakanda settled on top of it, and they became a city. And as the rest of the world kind of created and destroyed itself, Wakanda just kind of remained isolated from the rest of the world, and they hid the vibranium from everybody else. And it isn't until really now, in the events of Civil War a little bit, that they're starting to come out and show themselves to the world.
I don't think they explain vibranium well enough. Like it's a meteorite that hit Earth, but like what? Does it just have some strange properties? It's just like a really malleable but strong metal that they can use. Because they use it for like medicine too. Yeah,
that was the one thing I really didn't like about vibranium, is that it is kind of boundless, the uses that they have with it. And I didn't like that there's just like, oh yeah, we can heal a spinal injury because we're just that good.
It's like the nanobots of the Marvel universe.
And and that was the thing, was I think that was maybe a step too far for it. It was just like the fact that they healed it in a day. Like it'd be one thing if they healed a spinal injury and a week later he'd be like, oh, I'm totally fine. It's like I wasn't shot at all.
Yeah.
But it's literally like 12 hours.
It's a cool element to like the Black Panther universe, Because it's not in any of the other Marvel movies.
Not really. They've been hinting at it for years, to be honest.
Cap's shield is part vibranium and something.
In the comics, it's half vibranium, half adamantium, but I think in the movies it's just vibranium.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I think in Iron Man 2, there's a map, and Wakanda is highlighted on it, but there's not much else. I mean, I really do love the continuity that they've established in it. Like, I like that T'Challa has the same costume he had in Civil War. Yeah, like, you know, because they update the costume because they want to sell more toys, but I like that he started off with
the old one,
the old one, and I like that like Claw and Ross came back from other movies. And
what did you think about the Black Panther costume, the new one versus the Civil War one?
I like the Civil War one better.
Okay, good, me too. I wasn't sure if it was just me or not.
It's grown on me though. Like I do really like the helmet of the new one.
I wasn't a big fan.
No,
it's too cat-like for me. It's got too much of the cat element for me.
Okay.
I like when it has like when the new costume gets hit because it absorbs kinetic energy and then it stores it. It has this purple glow, which looks really cool. But I don't know. It just looks a bit too busy with just all the other like elements to it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the other thing is like Black Panther, his suit in and of itself, and not to mention his powers, like he's a very overpowered character. But in this movie, they managed to make it feel like it's not a, you know what I mean? Like in another movie, it would be like, well, this guy, like, I don't feel like this guy's going to die at all
he's
or
like
get
bulletproof, blade proof. He takes a grenade at one point.
And not to mention he now has a suit that absorbs energy, then he can push back out. Yeah. But for some reason or another, this movie, I never really felt like, well, he's too overpowered. And whether it was they made Killmonger his equal or whether it was just they introduced elements to make him seem weaker. But
well, the suit's a pretty big aspect of it because in the final fight, and jumping ahead here, but in the final fight, like the only way that they were to do any kind of damage to each other was because of the little force field on that train.
Right.
That kind of stops the suit from working.
Yeah. Do you want to start with the opening scene where they introduce Sterling K. Brown?
Sure.
Well, let's do it then.
All right.
Let's do it, Victor. So the opening scene has Sterling K. Brown in it. What'd you think of that?
I don't know. It's fine.
Okay. I really like that it took place in 1992. Like I like seeing T'Chaka as like a young Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
See, this whole movie, there's just like a deeper level to it. Like it doesn't surprise me that this was the Marvel movie that got nominated for Oscars because there are deeper themes to it and like there's purpose behind other things. Like the fact that they chose Southern California in 1992 for N'Jaka to be like organizing a little revolution is just like so poignant because that's like when the LA riots were happening.
Oh, was it?
But it's just like something like that where it's just like that is thought out, like that they chose that moment in time and that geographical place for him. Like it just gives him a motivation that kind of goes without saying that you're just kind of like, oh, yeah, I understand why that guy would be ticked off that Wakanda's not doing anything to help. And then the same thing that the fact that Killmonger grows up in that. And I mean, like there's even a part in it where after, and we're jumping all over the place, but Killmonger, after he wins the throne, he goes to the astral plane and he talks to his dad. And his dad says something along the lines of like, no tears for me. And he says, everybody dies. That's just how it is around here.
He just accepted that, like, yeah.
Well, because he lives in, was it Oakland or is it South Central? I can't remember. Either or. It was just like people don't make it to 30 because there's just so much gang violence. At least in the 90s there was. And
interesting. I did not even pick that out, that deal of detail out.
Okay. I think that's part of the reason why people like this movie because there is some history to it that maybe doesn't necessarily resonate with you and I because we are not African American. But I like the opening scene.
Did you notice Killmonger's little like body armor thing?
What do you mean?
Remember I made the joke about him looking like Vegeta?
Yeah.
That was distracting the entire time he had that on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't stop looking at it.
Killmonger got jacked. Michael B. Jordan did. He was huge. Like, because like most of the time when there's like superheroes in it and they take off their shirt, you're just like, okay, yeah, they obviously worked out. But when he took off his shirt, you're just kind of like, dang, like he did some working out.
Actually, the scar stuff they did on, or like the tattoos that they did on his body.
Yeah,
it's like a dot. It's like a dot for each kill that he's gotten.
That's a lot of kills.
That's intense. It looked really cool. I'm trying to think. They did that with someone else as like an aesthetic thing for like, and it was like reptile skin or something like that. But like that's kind of what it reminded me of.
Oh yeah. But it's like a ritual scarring that they do. But
Yeah.
He was cool. Killmonger is probably one of the best Marvel villains that they've ever done.
Like it's right up there with like Loki and
Thanos.
I think Thanos is a few steps ahead of everyone else though.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Like cuz he is just a really interesting character where it's again what makes a good villain most of the time is that you can see their point of view and understand their train of thought, and it's just there's that one extra step where they go, and because of this I'm going to kill everybody. And you're like, whoa, slow down. What was that last part?
I was with you at the step 10 and then a little bit too much, man.
But I think it's interesting that like how often in a superhero movie at the end of the movie does the good guy do what the bad guy wanted to do?
Mm-hmm.
T'Challa's actually like, you know what? He was kind of right. Let's forget the kill everybody part, but the rest of it was good. Like, yeah, he's great.
This movie was like I said, like everything in it was really good, but it's just like the things I didn't like were just like the pacing and like the way the CGI was done at the end. And
okay. So what about the pacing that you didn't like? It felt boring to you at some points or?
A little bit. After the ritual between Killmonger and T'Challa happens and T'Challa loses, like after that point, it kind of comes to a halt a little bit. And it kind of loses my attention. Like I think at that point, I think I actually started like doodling in my sketchbook.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand like you do have to get into that. But like, I don't know. There's just the way they did it. I just didn't care.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't really put a finger on what I mean, like on the exact reasoning for it. But yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't that interesting for me.
That's fair. What did you think of T'Challa?
He was good. He had a pretty good arc. His accent was fluctuating quite a bit.
Oh, you thought so?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
You notice it more when he's like, I guess, yelling or like raising his voice.
I didn't notice it, to be honest, but I'm not. But
I like his arc though. Like I like his thought process. I like that he was angry that his father killed his uncle, Killmonger's dad, and chose to leave the kid there. And I like that he recognized, like even because the second time he gets his Black Panther powers back, he confronts his dad. But no, I like that he kind of figured that out. He's like, oh, this is a problem that you guys created.
Yeah.
Like this is like there are benefits to like keeping Wakanda safe by not outing us. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we should be doing a lot more.
Yeah, and I really liked it too because there's two scenes where T'Challa goes into the astral plane. He talks to his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first one, he's very humble, right? And there's even a part in it where like T'Chaka is like, have I ever failed you? And he's like, never. And then in the second one, it's like, no, you aren't the superhero I thought you were. Yeah. And like this is awful what you have done.
I like that. I like that he recognized that. I like that it wasn't such a like, just like a really dramatic jump between, oh, I don't agree with Eric Killmonger. And now I do.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I really like T'Challa in this. He is probably on the surface level, the least interesting character in the movie because everyone else has kind of bigger personalities or is more intense or whatever. He's interesting too because he's a different kind of superhero than what you're used to with Marvel. You have Captain America, who's kind of the outlier, who's a very good man.
Mm-hmm.
But then everyone else is kind of like these quippy, arrogant guys. And so it was nice to have T'Challa, who is more like Captain America, but he's not quite the Boy Scout.
Mm-hmm. And he's royalty too, which kind of adds like a fun little layer to it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just a cool character. He's really interesting.
I do like his relationship with everyone else though. You can see the respect for him being king, but then everyone's still like joking around with him, kind of messing with him and stuff, especially his sister.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually felt like brother and sister.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think she has like the best costumes in this movie.
Shuri?
Yeah.
All the costumes in this movie were great.
Yeah, but
it
like
totally
hers,
deserved the Oscar. Sorry, go ahead.
But like she has, I think it's during the ritual combat. She has like these almost like animal bones, like jaws on her like jawline.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool looking. I kind of wish that last fight wasn't such a big CGI fest. Like it wasn't just a big, I don't know, gang war.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was more intimate. Maybe it was like just a bunch of like all the tribes kind of come together and then they do the ritual fight again, but in their Black Panther costumes.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. Cause then you kind of see like, hey, I am the king.
Yeah. That was one thing I didn't like about it. Like I would say its weakest point is there's a character named Wakabi who was just not built up enough.
Mhm.
So he was T'Challa's best friend, and he was Okoye's husband.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they were just lovers or husband and wife, but
I would, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know.
that was the thing. They never really established it. And so W'Kabi ends up signing up with Killmonger.
Mhm.
He betrays T'Challa and he leads his men, which is the Border Tribe. There's a kind of a civil war between the Border Tribe and the Dora Milaje.
Sure.
The thing I didn't like about W'Kabi is they just didn't build him up enough, because like on paper, the reason for his betrayal makes sense, but like there just wasn't enough screen time for him to be like, so you're just going to side with this stranger instead of this guy you grew up with your entire life?
All because the guy brought you your parents' killer?
Yeah. I think they needed to show more there, but I think that was just a product of like edits and stuff like that. Cause there are some deleted scenes with him and Okoye
Mhm.
that are pretty great. But there just wasn't enough of him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Nakia? I really liked her.
Well, she was originally one of the King's Guard, right? King's Guard?
She was a war dog. So the war dogs were the people they would send out undercover into the world to kind of.
That's such a badass name.
A war dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked her because she was just like a good character. Like she could have easily been the hero of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, she had a relationship with T'Challa, but like they could have omitted that completely in the movie and
and
it
she
wouldn't
still
have
worked
mattered.
Perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a kiss at the end and stuff, and there's flirting here and there between them, but it's not like she's here because we need T'Challa out of girlfriend, you know?
Yeah.
She was really great. And I actually, because in the comics, her character ends up becoming a villain.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting going into this movie the first time for her to betray T'Challa, because
really?
she has the same views as Killmonger.
Yeah.
Again, she skipped that last step about killing everyone, but and so I just find that really interesting that there's like all these people in his life who are just like, no, you're wrong. You should be helping people. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of supporting casts have like not necessarily opposing views, but they're different worldviews, and I like that about them. So it's not just about the main character spearheading his view, and people are just there to kind of like push him along.
Yeah, and it makes everybody feel like their own character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe they agree on the main points, but in the semantics of it, it's just like Nakia has a point, but I think we shouldn't be just doing. I think we should be also attacking people and stuff or whatever, you know, or whatever.
Don't you think the plan's missing, you know, just some killing? Are we missing some killing?
I feel like we should kill everyone. I know it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but I keep coming back to it.
Wait, maybe that's a bit too far. Maybe half the people pick at random.
Who invited this guy? You think you just snap your fingers and half the world will die?
He doesn't even go here.
You know what, though? We should talk about it because we just keep alluding to it, but we haven't really talked about what Killmonger's views were. So, yeah. So basically, growing up in Oakland, he feels that Wakanda has all of this technology and power that they could change the world.
Yeah.
And so his view is that if he were king, he would take Wakanda's power and right all the wrongs by killing the people he disagreed
Basically,
with.
flip the sides so
Yes.
that they're doing the killing.
Yeah.
And not the ones being oppressed.
And Nakia's, while very similar, hers is just that we should not be isolated. We should be out helping more people. We can do so much more. We have so much power and technology.
Mm-hmm.
We could be helping so much more. Anyway, just thought I should clarify that.
We have the technology.
Yes.
We can rebuild the world.
Stronger, faster. Challenge day.
Challenge day.
The ritual fights.
Oh, right. Yes.
Little stupid.
Well, you know what? That kind of creates a fair playground.
What do you mean?
If you disagree with T'Challa's views, then your tribe should step up and fight him for it.
It is a little weird that they decide who's king by a fist fight.
Well, they had weapons.
It's challenge day.
Yeah, it is. It does kind of default back to like the strongest wins, which doesn't always necessarily make a good king, but yeah, I see your father.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, what happens if multiple challengers come forth?
Does he just have to keep fighting them?
Yeah, because then 100% I'd go last.
Yeah.
Just see what happens. They never addressed that, but I guess that's never come up. Can you imagine the first year that happens? What do we do here? Is it rock, paper, scissors? Like,
Just looking around. Does anyone have this written down? No one's ever been challenged. I don't. That's when M'Baku showed up, who was one of my favorite characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's funny. Like when they show up, when they go up to his place at the end, he cracks jokes.
Yeah. I like too, because I remember watching this in the theater, and I think it's the vegetarian joke or something like that, where he says, I would feed you to my children. Yeah. Just kidding. We're vegetarians. And he laughs for a long time afterwards. I remember in theater, you don't notice it because everyone's laughing with him. But when you're watching it by yourself, you go, that's funny. And then you're just like, oh, he's still laughing.
It's funny. I saw that. I was like, oh shit, is that what my friends have to deal with?
Yeah. Oh, he's great. I like he has a sick club. It's like a spear that has a giant orb on the end of it.
It's weird looking. Doesn't it shoot some shit out of it too?
No, because his is all wood, right? Because the Jabari their whole thing is, they reject the vibranium. Yeah.
Actually, his throne is really cool. It's just like a U-shape room, but then there's 3 walls are gone. So you have like an open view of like the mountains. But then he has all these like branches strung up horizontally, kind of like creating walls.
Yeah, it is cool. He must have been cold though.
Well,
we're up in the mountains. I mean, it's Africa, but it's cold enough for snow. You know who we haven't talked about yet? Claw.
I don't care.
Really? I thought he was fantastic, Victor.
First time I saw the movie, like he was funny, but like he was really over the top.
Yeah.
And it was.
Did it take you out of the movie then? Is that why? Oh, okay.
A little bit, because it was like, this guy's kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's what I liked about him. Yeah, because I just imagine like, okay, meeting him in real life, that would be so unsettling. Like knowing that he's a dangerous man and he's just like this
jackass.
Well, yeah, like he just has this personality and you don't know whether it's going to be like, he'll just be laughing in your face and all of a sudden like pull a gun or something like that. Like,
yeah, like at the beginning where the first time you see him in that museum where they're robbing it and he's like tells one of the guys like, oh, you know what? I like you. I'll let you go. And then he shoots him as he runs away. And his reasoning was just to like spread out the crime scene.
Just cause. Yeah, I really liked Claw. Like him and Killmonger, I think are one of the only few Marvel villains where they die in it. And you're like, man, I wish they hadn't died. But I also could not see any other way for them to live. His death had a purpose as well as Killmonger's death.
Yeah.
Like Killmonger could not handle being in prison, so he'd rather die.
Well, it'd be kind of cool if you integrated him into like the Wakanda like council.
Oh, Killmonger?
Yeah. But like he's so aggressive. I don't know if he could handle being like a backseat player.
No, yeah, I doubt it.
Just send him out killing people.
That was the other thing too, because like he incites a civil war. Not really. He just has his followers and they make decisions. But T'Challa is like killing guys in that last fight.
For sure.
And it's just like, they're just following orders, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, you can kind of see though, like when the guards come down, join the fight, like they have spears, but they don't stab anyone right away, at least. Like they just.
But he's blowing up ships. People are in there flying them.
Yeah, but they're against him. So now they're dead.
I don't know. That just feels a little weird for me because like I'm fine with superheroes killing people, but that one kind of feels like he's killing his people. And like those guys, it's just like, well, I don't know who to follow. That guy's the current king. We'll do his or whatever.
Well, technically he wasn't king yet because you either have to die
yeah, the ritual
or
was not over, but semantics.
Because at that point they knew T'Challa was alive.
Well, and I mean, they're just following W'Kabi, right? Because W'Kabi was like, Bumby, or whatever he said. I can't remember.
Yeah. I thought he initially said Bambi. I was like, what? Where?
And then
everyone just stops and looks for Bambi.
What did you think of the rhinos?
So at one point, one of his guys, or was it, who's the one with the horn?
It was W'Kabi.
Oh, it was W'Kabi?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I honestly wasn't paying attention at that point. I just heard the horn. I looked over, and then like within 2 seconds, the rhinos like showed up
in full battle armor.
Yeah,
yeah.
Are they just standing by just in case?
Not yet. It's like, come on, I can see them fighting. I want to join. Shut up. We wait for the horn.
But they're friggin' badass. They just kind of charge. They just weave in and out of the battlefield, killing dudes.
Yeah, it is weird. Like that's a very comic book thing. I think there are giant rhinos in Wakanda in the comics. Like that didn't come out of nowhere, but
You know what's funny? In any other Marvel movie, there'd be one character addressing that. Were they just there the entire time? Where'd they come from? That was quick.
yeah, or someone would be like, "Are those giant rhinos?" I would say that's probably the weakest element of this movie is like the Marvel aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because like this is such a strong movie on its own, but then they add like the Marvel, the common Marvel tropes to it. And while some of the stuff is very cool, I like the rhinos in kind of an ironic way, but it does like stick out like a sore thumb because of it.
Do you like it because it's so stupid?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the CGI?
Yeah, sure. It's honestly, T'Challa's costume looks great. His character looks great when he's in the suit. All the way up to the last battle when it's like bright daylight.
Yeah. I know a little bit about visual effects, but not a lot. So take that with a grain of salt. But my understanding is when anytime there's CGI that looks bad, especially in a big blockbuster movie, it's because they either ran out of money or more likely they ran out of time. And so my guess would be is they either changed Killmonger's costume at the last minute or they changed that final sequence at the last second. And so they didn't have enough time to render everything properly.
Did you notice that one of the characters in that mine when they were fighting pulled a Wolverine from the first X-Men movie when they're on top of the Statue of Liberty?
He like claws aside and spins around it.
Yeah, that kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, it is a weird fight and it is out of place with the rest of the movie. So voice software is crap.
I understood that reference.
Yeah, there are some shots that are just horrendous, especially on Killmonger. Like the lighting is just not quite there. Like it's there, but the textures aren't.
It looks, yeah, like I don't know if you're familiar with like 3D models, but like when you just look at them like rendered, but without proper lighting, that's what it looks like. Like the textures are fine, the movement's fine. It's just like the lighting on it just looks so unnatural.
Yeah. There's just something a little bit off about it that you don't notice it, but your brain does.
Yeah.
Why was Ross flying his ship at the end? Like why was he involved in the climax? Because to me,
because Bilbo needed something to do. I don't know.
That's exactly it. I think like because that whole part to me, it's like, well, it's great that they involved him, but they really didn't need to.
Yeah.
The Busan sequence in Korea, I think that's one of my favorite sequences in.
Did you notice it was done in one shot?
Or yes like and no. It was very long shots, which is a Ryan Coogler thing, but it wasn't one shot. But yeah, I did notice.
Because I think I think it was like once someone started throwing down, that's when the long shot happened.
Yeah, it was when it starts with Nakia firing a gun and then it goes up to the balcony with Okoye spinning her spear.
Oh, okay.
And then yeah, that one goes all the way till the end of the sequence.
Yeah,
I think
right before Claw like runs out. I think that's when it cuts, when he's running out.
Yeah, I really love that sequence. That whole like them coming in and just like establishing the room and like it was just a really well made sequence, like just well thought out, and like you knew where everybody was and there was banter and like
and I liked that they were spread out and the room was relatively small for like a big game shootout because of how the room was laid out. You knew where they were. And you knew like where they were like calling out bad guys were when they were walking in, because just made it very easy to follow.
And then the car chase that follows is pretty awesome.
Actually, I think the one thing that kind of took me out of it was when T'Challa, they had to make like a sharp left turn.
Oh, and he like the superhero claw the ground. Yeah.
It's equal to like the, you remember the Batmobile scene? I think it was Batman Returns. He shoots like a grappling hook at like a telephone pole and he like uses that to make the turn.
Yeah, that's more egregious though, because it's like, why would you make a Batmobile that can't make a quick left turn?
Listen, it's a tank. It doesn't need to turn. You aim where it wants to go, and then you just shoot at it.
The only thing I actually didn't like about the car sequence is just like Okoye is just like guns, so primitive, and they're just sitting in the car while like the bullets are going off. I like that line, but then she's just like, they're firing bullets at us. I'm going to go stand up on top of the car.
Well, at that point, they stopped shooting.
It was around, it wasn't enough time that it was just like, oh, they've stopped shooting. I'm going to go up top. But it was just like, it was very close that I was just like, okay.
And then she pulls out a spear and I was like, isn't that more primitive?
Yeah. Oh, one scene I really dug was after T'Challa dies and Nakia pulls Okoye aside and she's like, okay, so we're going to go and we've got everybody and we're going to go up to Jabbar, like whatever. Like she's laying out her plan to take over, like to kick Killmonger off the throne. And I just love that Okoye was just like, listen, I really love T'Challa, but this guy's my king now. Like I have a duty and I'm going to honor that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Again, it was just what we were talking about before that like everyone has this third dimension to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that scene with them. Like they're on the same side, but they're not. Did you have any more thoughts on Black Panther, Victor? Positive or negative?
No, I think that's it. Literally, my last bullet point on my notes is M'Baku is hilarious.
Okay, here's one thing about M'Baku. I didn't like that he was just like, yeah, we're not going to help. And then they're just like, surprise, we helped.
Yeah, no, I didn't understand the motivation for him to come back. But you know what? He does have a seat at the council now.
That's true.
So
looking back, you said you didn't like Black Panther as much this time around.
I did not. You are correct.
Yeah.
I don't know, just like all the issues with like the CGI, the weird fight at the end.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of stood out a bit more. I thought that one it would have fixed it with the second view. Maybe I like noticed other things in it, but no, it's yeah. What would you? You said you liked it more?
Yeah, there was just watching it again. I just noticed a lot more. Like there was just seeing some of the deeper themes that were in it. Like because on the surface, it's just kind of like, okay, isolation bad, got it. And but as I was like thinking about it, it was just like because as I said, like T'Challa he was kind of like a boring character compared to everyone else the first time I saw him, but this time around, I was just his arc is just a little bit more subtle, and I really liked him a lot more this time, and I dug. Like Wakanda is just so gorgeous and like well thought out. And I was watching, I think I've said this before, but I was watching special features for Infinity War and the Russo brothers were like, okay, so we have this huge sequence that's going to happen in Wakanda. Let's go talk to Ryan Coogler and his team to see what they've come up with, like design wise for Wakanda.
Yeah.
And they just gave them this like this huge Bible of stuff and like maps of like what they've drawn up of what Wakanda looks like and stuff. And it's just like they had like so much information that they had just created out of thin air for Wakanda. And it's just like, just that kind of level. It's just so interesting. And it's just a gorgeous city. And
that'd be such a fun little like job to do. Not a little job, but like, that'd be such a fun,
like design a culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, Wakanda was great. I loved T'Challa. Killmonger is one of the greatest villains. Claw is also a great villain, but for a completely different reason.
He's like what the Joker should have been in the new Batman movie or the new Justice movie.
Yeah. But 10% scarier. But yeah, going into this, I didn't know a lot of the character, like the side characters or anything. Like all of them are so well drawn out, with the exception of W'Kabi, that
the one that should have had the most.
Yeah. That like they could have easily been the hero of the story. And like, yeah, it's well written movie. It's probably one of Marvel's best movies.
Yeah.
But not my favorite. Not one of my favorites. I just like other characters better. But yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's one of those things. It's like every piece is very well done, but when it comes together, it doesn't come together as well as it should. And I think that's the downfall. Like story is good, but then like everything was leading up to this big fight at the end, but the fight wasn't done very well. The CGI wasn't done very well. Anyways, that's
Black Panther.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about it. Probably. I'm sure I'll think about 8 more things after we're done recording, but I really liked it. I was glad to revisit it.
Well, should we wrap it up then?
Let's do it. Wrap it up. Well, put a bow on it.
No. We don't do bows in this household.
I was trying for some wordplay, but whatever. Didn't mean to insult you.
Everything you do insults me. Well, thanks again for listening, guys. It's been another episode of The Average Uninformed. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. Otherwise, if you want to get in touch with us directly, you can email us at averageuninformed@gmail.com. And next week, we'll be reviewing and watching and reviewing
Captain Marvel.
Yeah!
Finally.
I'm
what
so
are we going to
excited.
talk about after Captain Marvel? Because that's all we talk about in every episode.
I don't know, Dune, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, talk to you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.